Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second part of the Battle of Endor, rounds 2 through 3. Welcome to our channel. My call sign is BatMando, and this is the showdown summary for the Battle of Endor between myself and Commander Orrin. You can see that the pilots are still left in this because Gemmer Sojan is now dead. In addition, I will tell you that one of the turbo laser turrets has turned into gas, and it looks like it is time for road. Now going into round 2, it looks like I'm going to be first player this time. So we go ahead and start getting everything moving at this point in time. So Tycho has decided to turn his turret to the rear because I'm thinking that I don't need to be in front of anybody, but just, bugging out and trying to shoot as I leave. So calculate tokens were given to turrets 3 and 4. And looks like the fire control markers are still out there at this point in time. Now, Site 6 is going to go ahead and move 2 forward. And he goes ahead and puts down the focus. Later, we will go ahead and do the roll to find out if he gets damage from that. Same thing with Scimitar 1. So Scimitar 1 moving 1 forward and looking at who should he possibly lock at this point in time. Instead, he takes a focus, but I'm certain he has plans for later. The Interceptors kind of coming in a little bit on the slow roll side, as in they're just waiting to see what their target's going to be. And then when the time is right, they're going to come in and jump on it. So here we go, Braylon with a 1 bank turn right. Trying to turn in so that I can start helping with destroying some of the other turbo laser turrets. And as we continue, so now at this point in time, still reading a whole bunch of all the different cards. Originally, my plan was to come in and play with the Empire, but at the same time, Commander Orrin is always an Empire player, so in which case, went ahead and got what I thought was going to be a good list for the Rebels. Now, Kendi is going to go ahead and perform a barrel roll and focus. We had a little bit of a discussion in between, so we went ahead and cut that out. So Commander is going ahead and locking Braylon with Scimitar number 3. After moving 1 forward. Then you're going to see that Tycho is kind of just bugging out, but he has his gun in the back so that he can shoot as he goes on the way out. And then Endor taking a 2 bank turn left. Looks like it's pretty close to his buddy there, but it's not that close. So now Endor taking a lock on the bridge because Endor has those wonderful munitions that we will see used later. Okay, Wedge taking a 2 hard turn right at this point in time because I cannot just let these 2 TIE fighters come in and sweep me from behind. So performing a barrel roll and a red focus as well. So I will at least have an opportunity to possibly take on both of these TIE fighters here in just a moment. Okay, Major Mionda taking a focus after their movement. And Sunterfeld taking a 1 hard turn left. And here in a second, we're going to bring you back to live.
Roll for him and him.
Yeah.
We'll just do both of them again.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
1 crit.
it only says on a hit result. Nothing but crit. Okay. So, yup. Okay. It doesn't say anything about crit. It only says hit.
Oh, okay.
So, but you
So
still
it's-
need your damage deck.
So it's really not that good a chance, is it?
Okay. And then you need to go ahead and do it for this one.
Yep.
So that one takes a hit. And then for 5 back here.
Another
I'll pay for it.
This shield. Oh no,
But
the
yeah,
crit doesn't count.
because, well, it doesn't say it doesn't count, but it doesn't have it marked there. It says on a hit result, suffers a hit damage. So I would assume, the great gods of blah, blah, blah. Okay, you already moved your
Well, because
6.
then it's like a 50-50 chance.
And as you heard right there, apparently there's no effect for rolling a crit while dealing with fire supports. So we just went ahead and moved forward with that just because the rule book doesn't specify anything along those lines. So, in which case, it is now time for shots. We're examining who is going to be shooting where. I go ahead and use Wedge to go ahead and fire into that turbo laser turrets. Now, you may be asking, why am I wasting a shot on the turbo laser turret? Because that is the objective, ladies and gentlemen. I get no points and no victory points for destroying all of the Empire ships. I only get to win the scenario or a major victory if I destroy all 4 turbo laser turrets and the command bridge. So I go ahead and finish off that turbo laser turret. And now there is a debris cloud in its spot. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the rest of our attacks. So it is now, I believe, Endor shots. So Endor taking that shot into the bridge there, spending the target lock to make that happen. So all shields have been stripped off the bridge, and now we can start laying damage into the bridge. By the way, if you are not already familiar, the bridge has 20 health. So first you got to knock down the 3 shields, which regenerate up to a point, and then you have to take down the bridge with 20 points or 20 hits. So crits do count double in that instance. Now, Tycho went ahead and missed Scimitar 1. Had to transfer my target on over to the bomber because the turret was no longer there. So we're now checking to see range on another shot here from Major Mionda, and we go ahead and see what the defense is going to tell us. And Major Mionda was able to miss Endor in this particular attack. But now we have, I believe it's going to be Scythe 6 that is also going to take that shot as well. Now, I was able to take a strain to do a reroll. So, but unfortunately, shields were taken. Now we're going ahead and trying other things. The attack is out at that point in time, making certain if there was anything else to do to modify the attack. And as we continue to read, it doesn't appear that there was anything more that I could do other than spend the focus and hand it on over to another person. So Kendi hits the bridge for 4 damage, so that's at least a good start at this point in time. And you may be asking, how did he get that in there? Well, in which case, marksmanship, I believe, is on Kendi. Well, either way, there was a crit, and a crit counts as 2 damage instead of 1. All right. Now, this is going to be a very, very interesting match throughout this. If you are looking at some of my choices, well, one, it's my first time playing it. Second, I'm having to take out these turrets and the bridge before anything else. And that means, unfortunately, I don't really get a chance to shoot at all these Empire ships. So, Scimitar 3 just strips 4 of the shields off of Braylon there because 1 defense dice doesn't apparently like me. And then we're going to go ahead and see what the next Scimitar does. So there's a re-roll from the target lock that was acquired during the attack from Scimitar 3, the target lock acquired by Scimitar 1, and in which case the shield has come off because he has 5 shields in this one. Then you see that there's another crit, then another crit. So Scimitar hits Braylon really hard. We only have 1 hole left at this point in time. And of course, we're now measuring to see who's going to be taking that shot next. But it appears that Moss does not have a shot, however, that turbo laser turret does. And in which case, all he had to do was roll 2, and he would kill Braylon just as he did. So Braylon dies. And we now have the other turret taking a shot. And the turret number 4 stripped off Tycho's shield at that point in time. So that is going to be wrapping up the end of this round as we go on into the next thing. So now going ahead and rolling to see who is first player, and that goes to Commander
All
Orrin.
power to bridge deflectors and get our 3rd shield back. Okay. This is why you want me for these scenarios, because every time I do the abilities, I read them out loud. And then we will concentrate firepower for turbo lasers 4 and 3.
Very well. You mean the only ones that you have left?
Yeah, it's pretty energy efficient. And, you know what I mean?
Commander Orrin showing off his wonderful vocal skills of the Empire, and in which case, a little bit of the witty banter that you can see, especially if you go ahead and subscribe to our future transmissions. Please make certain to click like on the videos that you like, and we'll make more of the videos that we know that people are liking. All right, so we are now getting into round 4. You can see that Site 6 is going to go ahead and move 2 forward. It looks like it was going to be close, and it ends up not being a bump, and Site 6 does get a focus out of this. So now we have 2 turrets already gone, and the rebels already have lost 2 ships at this point in time. So Commander Orrin still moving his ships and doing everything he can to position his ships in a way to eliminate mine. You will see now, in which case, Scimitar 1 is going to take damage from the fire support right there. And then Scimitar 3 goes ahead and moves into position, but is not close enough to the fire support marker itself. Alright, Scimitar 3 is going to go ahead and lock Endor. Both of those ships are incredibly dangerous with their proton torpedoes. Commander Orrin absolutely put together an incredibly offensive and terrible list. There's a bump from me into one of Orrin's ships there. So Kendi is going to take a red focus because you don't want to sit there in the middle of a firestorm without any kind of protection. Hey, what do you know? Major Mionda moving 2 forward, also very close to the the fire support right there. So we're checking a couple of other things, and it looks like he does take a hit from fire support. He actually had 2 markers within reach, but only 1 was able to do damage. So Tycho takes a 2-bank turn right, and I was hoping that I could go ahead and turn that turret around, but then found out that you have to do that in systems phase, and it is a stress action. So as he was already stressed from the previous time, he was not going to be able to fix his turret for a little bit because I did a 3-turn, which was a white maneuver. Tycho is going to go ahead and take an evade at this point in time. And we're moving forward with other things currently. So Endor moves 1 forward. Endor is most likely going to take that lock on the command bridge, as you can see. A little bit of discussion on whether Sunter can fly on top of the command bridge was had, and we did determine that everything would be fine there. It did not have any negative consequences, and it doesn't get damage if you fly over the thing. So Sunterfell performs a barrel roll. And we're about to get to that point where are we going to be taking shots? So now, since Commander Orrin has the initiative, oh wait, we still need to see Wedge move. So Wedge taking a 1-bank turn left, and there is a bump right there. So in which case, I am now debating, do I go ahead and take a red focus or do I not take a red focus at this point? Not a lot of people, well, actually, I think no one has shots available on me. Speaking of shots, it's now time for shots. So Wedge did not take the red focus, and Sunterfell is going ahead and doing his attack. So he gets a re-roll because of it's a trap, or I'm sorry, no escape. So Sunterfell misses Kendi, luckily, and then performs a boost as his after-shot action. Well, it's not even an action. So basically, he gets to shoot or barrel roll after firing. So now we're going ahead and seeing what is Wedge going to do. That's my only 6, so we have to figure that out. So taking a look at, do I attempt that shot at range 0, or do I go ahead and go for range 2 on the scimitar pilot? And we wait for the defense. The defense is rolled. Wedge does hit scimitar 1 for 8 damage. Not too bad considering that Wedge didn't have any focus there. So if you're debating why did I not take the stress focus, because I need to make certain that if I want to do a right maneuver, I have the ability to do a right maneuver and an action afterwards, because Tycho kind of suffering from that choice earlier. Okay, so now we have the defense out there, and apparently Endor was hit for 8 damage. And then we continue to move on through. So far, this game is really action-packed because of all the different pilots on there, especially with the abilities going on. So now, I will definitely tell you that I highly recommend this scenario because, well, guess what? It's fun to play, it's hard to play, but a lot of fun, but you need to read that instruction manual. So Endor gets hit for 2 more damage. Endor basically limping on his last leg at this point in time. So finally, I think Endor is going to get a chance to shoot before possibly dying at this point in time. So he's going to go ahead and take that shot, but he cannot use his munitions due to the fact that he is range 1 of that bridge. So now we're going to go ahead and go with a 4 attack dice. Endor is successful in stripping all the shields and hitting the bridge, giving the bridge a total of 15 points left at this point in time. So now, at a certain point, I'm going to tell you that the bridge can no longer refresh shields, which I believe is at 10 damage or more. So we are definitely trying to make that happen so those shields are no longer an interference. All right. Back to the regular attacks at this point in time, and you can see that we had Tycho miss Scimitar 1 because that was his only option, because ordinarily I would say that Tycho should be aiming at one of the objectives. Alright, so in which case Scimitar 1 misses Endor. Endor lives for another round, which is very thankful, because I don't know what would have happened if that ship had died at that point in time, because we definitely need that ship. So we're now waiting to see where is it that we are attacking next, and it is going to be Kendi with a range 1 attack onto the bridge. Kendi scoring 5 damage because one of those was a crit. Waiting now for the scimitars to go ahead and do their shots. So it appears that we have 1 attack coming, and we'll see if that does anything. Apparently there's a damage to Endor, and Endor is destroyed. We really needed him. So Commander Orrin with Scimitar 1 destroying Endor. Now looking with his interceptor, Moss, and in which case Moss going ahead and taking the range 3 shot onto Wedge. Wedge will be losing a shield at that point in time. So now we're going to go ahead and see if the turbo laser turret has a shot there. No shot for Wedge, but there is a shot for Tycho, and that turbo laser turret is going to go ahead and take a shield and a damage on Tycho. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up this video and this part of our series. Join us Wednesday for more Battle of Endor. Same BatMando time, same BatMando channel. And as always, BatMando out.